Good morning, guys. I hope everyone's doing well today. It is Thursday. Hard to believe that it's already Thursday. I hope that your homework's coming along well and all that. Especially since we weren't able to do our Zoom meeting yesterday. I pray everyone was able to get their work done. Thanks for those that sent me their homeworks. A couple of you still have not sent your homework, so please make sure you do so be sooner rather than later. Okay. A couple things for today. I on your sheet, I sent home a social studies assignment for everyone. You're kind of taking that business worksheet that you did last week, or at the beginning of the week, and you're going to kind of take another step. Today you have to take a piece of paper, let's say this is a blank piece of paper. You're going to make a whole ad. You know how sometimes when you drive on the freeway and you see billboards that are up on the side of the freeway and they are advertising a different store or a restaurant or anything like that. Well, you have to take whatever business you created there and now make an advertisement. I put an example in the worksheet for a burger place. Maybe you're going to be advertising a special deal you're having there, something that you're selling at your store, or just maybe you're advertising your business. You want more people to come. So you need to draw it on a piece of paper. You need to color it, make it nice and bright because you want it to be able to catch my eye if I was on the freeway. And make sure you have your name on there and all that good stuff. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to get in contact with me. Spelling, you should be, by the end of the day, be done with the third page of Unit 25 today. Tomorrow I'll be sending home a link for you to take your spelling test. So your spelling test, and I'll give you all the directions for tomorrow for your spelling test on how to do it, and then what should you do with your results when you're done with it, okay? For kindergarten, Lauren, you are going to be doing pages 8 and 9 today. You got 8 through 10, so you're going to read this little story called Tug. Okay, you're going to read the story first. I think maybe mom or someone else in the house can read the story to you. It's 3 pages long, and then I want you to try to read it back to them. So maybe they read a line, you read a line, but you have to point to the words. This is about a game that maybe you played before called Tug of War. You're going to read all about that game, and then after you're all done using those vowels again, A, E, I, O, and U, you need to figure out what letters missing in each one of these from that story. All right. So you're gonna have to look at those, trace the letters that are already there, and then rewrite that missing letter. I also put in a couple of worksheets there that you can do that are dealing with the letter U as we're finishing up that letter and kind of going from we're finished by tomorrow. We'll be done with our Super Kids book, that us book. Okay. All right, first graders, for math today, nothing too difficult that I can see. That I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to be overly tricky. There's one new concept a little bit, so it's going to look like this. 2 plus what equals 10? So the easiest way to do this is to start at 2 and go up to 10. So we start at 2. What comes after 2? 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what goes in that blank? Well, I got 5 and 3. That's 8. So we know 2 plus, and we put in an 8 there. 2 plus 8 equals 10. All right. Let's try another one real quick. 5 plus what equals 10? So we start at 5. What comes after 5? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We stop at 10 because that's our answer. So what is our answer? Oh, 5. 5 plus 5. So we put a 5 in that blank. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay? So that's what you're going to be doing there on number 5 on both sides of your paper. On the top part, you're going to be dealing with number 85. So you're going to be writing that number 85 in there. Number 2, it says Daphne had 41 cents. Show this by using the least number of dimes and pennies. So remember, the dimes is always the first number, pennies is always the second number. And then it said he found another dime. So you got to add one more to the 4 and tell me how much money she has. Number three, it says put those cards. Someone put those cards in order, but they made a mistake. Circle the number card that would have to move that's in the wrong spot. So find the one that's not in the right order. And then number four says color all the even number. Remember, even numbers, they end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so if it ends in one of those numbers, color it yellow, it says. 5 we already talked about. And 6, 6 you can cross off. You don't have to do that one because I don't think there's 10 people that you can go and ask in any of your families. So 6 on both sides you can cross off. The only difference on the back side of your sheet today is that you need to come up with a number for number 1 between 29 and 35. So make sure that number, it goes between 29 and 35, and you write that in the blank there on number 1. Otherwise, everything else is pretty normal, the same as the other side. You can just have to, it's just different numbers when you redo that side. Okay. For your reading class, your reading is very simple today. It's a lot of just filling in the blanks. For number 187, you're just reading the word, and you have the 4 words at the top: new, 4, 2, and 8. And that 8 is like the number 8, not like I ate food. So you need to write the word that goes in the blank. That should be very simple. Use it only one time. On the back side, you got to figure out which word completes each sentence. Is it the one with ed? So like the first one is picked or pick, and it says Liz blanked a lot. Is it Liz pick a lot or Liz picked a lot? Picked. So you circle the P-I-C-K-E-D, and then also make sure you write it in the blank. 189, those are some vocab words that we're going to be looking at: landed, checking, telling, missed, filled, and sleeping. You need to, on 1, 2, and 3, write the 3 words that end with ed. That should be easy. And then 4, 5, and 6, find one of those spelling words that is spelled wrong, and then circle it and write it correctly on the line. And then the last page is, again, dealing with the ed words. You need to figure out which one of those words best finishes the sentence. And for that one, they both may sound like they could fit, but you want the one that is most clear, the one that shows the most action. So like the first one, Lee blanked a bucket of paint. You could say Lee got a bucket of paint, but Lee grabbed a bucket of paint sounds a lot more interesting. So you're going to circle grabbed and write it there. So make sure you're really careful there that you write the one that makes the sentence seem more interesting. Okay? All right. Continuing on. Rodney, you have your unit review today. So you have to read the story on page 28 in your workbook. And then you have 8 questions there from that story that you need to do. So it shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. For number 8, actually for 7 and 8. For 7, it says, is this passage literal or figurative? So does that mean, is it literally happening? Is it for sure happening? Like, is this story real? Or is it figurative? Is it stand for something? And then tell me why you think that. And then number 8, it says, what 2 words in the passages can you add a prefix or suffix to? So remember, prefix is when you add letters to the beginning, like reread, refill, or suffix is like hopeful or hopeless. Okay, what word? So you need to find 2 words in that story that you could add a suffix or a prefix to it. Tell me those 2 words, and what do the words mean after you add? So write the word, add the prefix or suffix, and then tell me what that word means. Just 2 of them, just 2 words. Shouldn't be too hard there. Okay. And then on page 30 and 31, for 9 through 18, you need to circle the letter next to the word that has the same sound as the underlined letters. So like number 9, moon, the oo. So you got to circle the word that has also the oo sound in it. And then 19 through 22, circle the letter next to the word that belongs in each sentence. That should be pretty simple. And then the last part, 23 through 26, circle the word that contains the figurative language. Remember, figurative, we just talked about this. Figurative is like it stands for something. So you need to circle the one that goes with that. So That one might be a little tricky, so if you have questions, you can save it and we can kind of go over it this evening as well. I'll help you with that. But if not, go ahead and try it and do your best on that. So you just got those pages to do today. All right? First graders, I continue to encourage you to read a story each night. Do your best to try to read out loud and kind of go from there. All right? That's all I got for first grade. For second grade, math, this is also with Rodney. You got a little bit of a new concept. Today we did this the other day, but multiplication, all right. So remember, this is pretty simple though. If I had 3 times 10, all I'm going to do is take that first number, 3, and I'm going to add a 0 to it. So 3 times 10 is 30. Okay? So if I said 7 times 10, can you guess what the answer is going to be? Yeah, 70. So make sure you know that. At the top part for the word problem, it says, look at like number 1, if you look at that in your book, it says Marcia counted the tiles and put them in groups of 10. When she finished, she had counted 3 groups of tiles. Draw a picture. So on your in the box, you're going to draw me 3 big circles. And how many tiles did she have in each circle? It said she had 10. So you do 10 little squares in each circle. So then your Marcia says underneath the box, it says Marcia has how many groups? 3 groups. And how many does she have in each group? Of 10 tiles. So then you count that 10, 20, 30. How many did she have altogether? 30. That's goes in your last group. Okay? For number 2, put those in order from least to greatest, biggest or smallest to biggest. And then it says circle the one number that goes between 25 and 45. 3 deals with multiplication. 4 is what we did yesterday with our borrowing, where we're doing subtracting. Again, just like yesterday, one of them you don't have to borrow. The other 2 you do have to borrow. So be very careful there. Number 5, in the circle, you got to have the mouth eating the bigger number. But for the last 2, you got to write the answers underneath and then have the mouth eat the bigger number in the circle, the bigger answer, okay? And remember, if they're the same, you write an equals sign. And then number 6 is just some adding. I think everything else on the back side is exactly the same as the front side, just different numbers. So you should be able to handle that pretty well. If you understand the front side, you should be able to do the back side pretty well as well, okay? For reading today, second graders, you guys are going to read out of your hardcover the story Mighty Dinosaurs. Very, very short. It's only like, I think, 3 pages long. Read it very carefully. You're going to have to read it before you do your assignment, because on page 61, that's pretty easy. It deals with some words from that story: disaster, pitch, earthquake, volcano, erupting, lava. You got a little crossword puzzle that you have to do there. Then for page 62, this is why you have to read Mighty Dinosaurs first. And the story that you did yesterday, it says, what's this selection about? So you got to tell me, what were each one of those stories about? Write that in a sentence in that box. In the middle section, it says, why do you think the author wrote those stories? Was it to entertain us? Was it to tell us a story? Was it to give us more information about something? Those types of things. So you got to tell me that. And then the bottom section, what details did you enjoy about it? So what was something that you enjoyed when you read that story? Okay. And then 63 is a little similar to that. It deals with Little Grunt story and also the Great Ball Game, the one with the animals and the birds and how they played a game. We did that one last week or a couple weeks ago. You need to tell me, what was the problem that they solved, or that the stories faced in that? What was the problem that those characters faced in that story? So write that in the first blank, and then in the second column, how did they solve that problem? And then at the very bottom, the question is, how did the solutions in the stories, how are they alike? How are they the same? How are they similar? Okay, so you got to think about that. How did they solve those problems very similarly? Then on the last page, page 64, reptiles, remains, prey, pack, and fossils. These are all dinosaur words. And when it says prey, it's not like folding your hands and pray. And that's like the lion was hunting for his prey, his food. Okay. So what you have there is you need to fill in the blank on the top part, and at the bottom it says choose 3 of those words and use each one in a sentence. So you got to have 3 sentences in the bottom part. Okay. All right. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. All right. 3rd grade math. You're on page lesson 81 today. You have multiplication. We're going to be doing some new multiplication that we haven't done before. We did this the other day. If I said 24 times 2, remember, you always multiply these 2 numbers first. So you do the 4 times 2. 4 times 2, what's 4 plus 4? Oh, that's 8. So we write an 8 down there. And then you go over here and you take this 2 and you multiply it by this 2. 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? 4. So we put that in front of there. So 24 times 2 is 48. Now, that's pretty simple. You always, when we multiply, you always do the first back number by the bottom number, and then you multiply the bottom number by the second number. So let me try another one here. 36 times 2. Okay, now this one's where it gets a little tricky. What 2 numbers do you multiply first? What did I just say? 6 times 2. So we do these 2 first, right? Well, what's 6 times 2? All right, the answer is 12, right? So but we don't write the 12 like that because you can't have 2 numbers right there. So you leave the 2 just like we would when we add, and the 1 goes up here above the 3. Because now what 2 numbers do I multiply? Well, I have to do the 2. Oops, I can't see, huh? Got to do the 2 times the 3, right? We got to remember, we got to go up here and do this. So 3 times 2 is what? 6. But remember, we have this 1 hanging out. So since we have that 1 hanging out, we said this is 6. We add 1 more. What's 6 plus 1? 7. So our answer is 72. Let's try one more. 39 times 2. All right, what 2 numbers do we multiply first? That's right, 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is? Well, 9 plus 9 is 18. So I put the 8 down there. And I put the 1 up on top. Then what 2 numbers last? Well, I already did 2 and 9, so now I have to go 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 1 more, 7. So our answer is 78. All right, I hope that makes sense. I was looking over your assignment last night. I didn't see anything that was going to be overly tricky for you with regards to how to do any of these today. I think they should be all pretty normal. Maybe number 11 might be a little difficult. It says write fractions equal to 1 with a denominator of 5. So remember, if I ate a whole pizza and it was cut into 5 pieces, how many pieces did I eat? 5 of them, right? All 5. So it'd be your first fraction would be 5 over 5. That equals 1. Then it says write a mixed number, 1 and 1/5, using digits and symbols. Okay, so you got to write 1 and 1/5, and then you have 5. So you have 5 over 5, and then 1 and 1/5, and then you got to tell me which one's bigger. Have the mouth eat the bigger one. All right, think about that one. I think everything else should be fairly easy. I don't see anything that's going to be overly tricky for you today. All right. So if you run into anything, jump on our Zoom meeting today and ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer any of them as you go. Okay. With your reading today, for 3rd graders, not too hard. You have page 73. You're just filling in the word. What you have to do is take the word that's in the parentheses and add a suffix. So you add a y, an ly, an er, a less, a ness. So it makes sense. So like the first one I saw, a soft, small brown caterpillar, blank, crawling up a tree, and the word is slow. So we won't say, I see a small brown caterpillar, slowful, no. Slowness, slower, no. Ooh, slowly. So you write slowly on the line there. Okay, that's how you do the first one. Should be. I don't think you should have any problem with that. On the next one, you have a bunch of vocab words that you need to find. Anyone that ends in es, write it in the first column. There's one word that ends in ed, one word that ends in er, and two that end in est. Write them in the right space there. 75, you got a top part, write the spelling word that means the same as the underlined word, but make it plural. So like the first one says a small horse. That, well, what's another name for a small horse? That's a pony. All right, so what's the plural of pony? If I had more than one pony, that's ponies. So you write ponies on the line, okay? And then 8 through 10, write the word that best completes the sentence. And then on the back part, one we've done many times, find the 5 that are misspelled, circle them, and write them correctly. You do not have to write an introduction at the bottom. All right? That's all you got for reading today. Pretty simple there. Last but not least, Javon, Dylan, and Leah for your reading. Well, first of all, Leah and Trey, you have math today as well. Make sure you do your lesson 74. If you have any questions, get in touch with Mr. Wasser, and he'll be able to answer those for you. For your reading, however, Leah and Dylan and Javon, you need to read the story of the funny story called The Talking Yam. A yam is like a sweet potato. So you're going to read that story there. And then you need to fill in the chart on page 57. Who's the main character in the story? Where does the story take place? What was the farmer's problem? And then how did he solve the problem at the beginning? Then what did he do in the middle of the story? What did he do at the end of the story? And how did he solve it? So you got to write a sentence for each one of those. For every single one of them, you need to write a sentence, except for the main character and the setting. Everything else, make sure you write it in a good, complete sentence. Start them with capital letters and all that good stuff, okay? On page 58, you need to they have a word bank there at the bottom, and they give you a description of something, and then you need to take the beginning of a word and put two of those letters or word groups and put them together to make a word. So let me give you an example. A tooth doctor. Well, if you have a problem with your teeth, what kind of doctor do you go to? Think about it for a sec. Yeah, it's called a dentist. So we go down and look at, there's a D-E-N, and then there's a T-I-S-T. We put those together, dentist. Oh, there's your word. So then you cross off the D-E-N and the T-I-S-T in the word bank because you've already used them, and then you go on to the next one. So they give you the clue and they give you the words. You got to take those word groups and put them together to make a whole word. All right? For page 59, you can cross that one off. That one, the vowel and the consonant and splitting the words, it's a little tricky. So you can cross that one off. Don't have to do that one. I'll give you that break today, okay? And on the back side, page 60, you need to write the spelling word that goes with each group, with each word below. And then for 8 through 14, write the list word that answers each riddle. All right? All right, I think that should be about it for today, for Thursday. Today's a special day in our family because today is my mom and my dad's birthday. They have the same exact birthday. So we're going to have a little birthday party with them. So tonight, the Zoom, I will send an email out, but we may have to switch the time. If I end up doing that, I'll send an email out to all your parents and let them know. But as of right now, we'll plan on doing it at 7, but I know we're planning on doing a virtual birthday party for my parents later on this evening. So I'll keep you updated once I know more information with regards to what time we're doing all that stuff. Otherwise, watch for my video. Today I'm doing a Christ-Light story. I'll be posting that this afternoon. And keep working on those homework. Keep working on studying those spelling words. if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and contact me. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day. It looks like the sun's going to be shining. It's going to be warming up. I heard by Tuesday it's almost supposed to be close to 70 degrees. So enjoy the nice weather. Get outside, get some fresh air, open the windows at your house, with your parents' permission, of course. And I hope everyone has a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.